So I'm an orthopedic surgeon, and I take x-rays and shoot pictures every day. What you see on the left is how I take x-rays in the operating room. This is called the mini seat. And believe it or not, it's not so mini. It's about 4 feet high and has an 8-foot wingspan. And this is actually the smallest device that I can take x-rays on. There's a standard version which is about twice as big. And this is very bulky and cumbersome, especially when you're working on the arm or leg. It takes about 12 minutes to set up and manipulate. Surgical cost is $70 per minute, so that's over $800 potentially lost. It can't be used concurrently with other instruments. And lastly, it only has a single capture mode. I can't take x-rays and pictures. So if I want to take pictures, I have to stop what I'm doing, walk over, put on sterile gloves, grab my iPhone or camera. Again, more money lost. This design is analog. It's over 60 years old. It's a dinosaur. Now, the radiation exposure is considered dangerous and often excessive, especially for the extremity. And lastly, what I do with these images, there's no way to share them. You get these grainy images that you have in your suitcase. There's no way to share them or integrate them into the medical chart. So we've come up with Micro-C. This is the world's first handheld x-ray emitter, specifically designed for the orthopedic surgeon. What you don't see underneath is that there's a moving sensor that moves with a direct infrared communication with the emitter. So wherever the emitter goes, the sensor goes. So you never have to move the arm or leg. If you want to get that oblique or that lateral, all you got to do is turn the Micro-C. We're using a digital radiography, which is a cesium iodide CMOS sensor, so you're getting the most accurate and resolute images available. It has 3 modes. You can take x-rays, you can take digital picture and video, and you can also take thermal mode, and I'm a microsurgeon, so this has a lot of indications for microsurgery, which I won't get into. And lastly, all these images, all these grainy images that I carry around in my office, I can integrate these in electronic medical chart, and I can also safely and securely share them with my patients and with other surgeons via an encrypted authentication process, which I will not get into as well, unless you ask. Our initial studies show that this is actually 100 times less radiation, but I put 10 to be safe. And in some cases, we're showing 1,000 times less radiation. To put that in perspective, a single x-ray is about a day worth of ambient exposure. We're looking at 5,000 to 10,000 times less radiation than the standard CR. So I talked about the emitter and the sensor. In the bottom left, you'll see the sensor, and that's built into the hand table. So that block right there is actually what receives the radiation and converts it to a digital image shown in the operating room. And it moves in the XY plane and also tilts 45 degrees to get that lateral or the oblique. We have a custom x-ray tube and power supply, and we've also established our own secured medical imaging software. So that allows us to integrate these images into electronic medical chart easily, allows us to submit a bill or a CPT code for use of fluoro or interpretation of images. And it also allows us to authenticate the user, so the patient, once they're done with their surgery, they can go on their mobile app and authenticate themselves and access their images. Or if they don't like, say if they don't like me and they want to transfer care to another surgeon, they can then authenticate that new doctor as well. Sorry, it sticks backwards. So we were started in May of 2016. In 5 months, we've had a pretty successful seed round. We've had 3 filed patents. We're working on 3 more. We were the Health Innovation Technology Innovator. I'm a panelist on December 7th up in Atlanta. So we're going to go up there and do a live demo. And I don't know how, but the Curtis National Hand Center caught wind of this, and they're the nation's first and most premier hand center. They're up in Baltimore, and they decided they wanted to do a study on it. So they're actually comparing our radiation profile, our efficiency, as well as our image resolution compared to the mini-C and the standard C. And we hope to have those results in May of 2017. We see this as having numerous applications outside the operating room, and what we're doing is now we're about to submit our NIH grant, which is a stage 2 grant, which we're going to pilot at home health care as well as a global telemedicine. 80% of orthopedic surgeries, this can be used. That's from the shoulder down, from the hip down. There are 28,000 orthopedic surgeons in the United States, 5,000 initial devices, but the portability make it suitable for many other areas outside the operating room. And that include sports medicine, athletic trainers, family doctors, rural medicine, podiatry, pediatrics, rural hospitals, and of course home health. You can actually bring the x-ray to the patient, and of course third world. Here's a look at the timeline. We've just started our Curtis National Hand Center in November. In January of 2017, we're going to submit our NIH grant. And February 1st is when we'll have all our prototypes completed. At that point, we'll start our FDA compliance, which takes about 6 to 8 months. In the meantime, we're going to start beta testing. So we're going to do a small-scale manufacture of about 20 devices, and we're going to be strategically in the hands of orthopedic surgeons throughout the United States and the world. And March 14th, that's the Academy meeting. That's when all the orthopedic surgeons meet in San Diego. We're going to do a live demonstration. And by September, we hope to have our FDA compliance. And then by September, early September, we go to the Hand Academy meeting, which we plan to take initial sales and launch. There are 4 ways to make money. One is through direct device sales. The third and fourth are through service and software licensing fees, but the most interesting is the consumables. So every time I use this in the operating room, I have to sterilize it. So in order to do that, we have to sell the hospital or the hospital system a bag, a sterile bag, and that costs about $100. The mini C bag costs about $150 to $175. To avoid rip-offs, we created a QR, basically a cryptographic QR system where the bag snaps into the lens, the bag has a lens which snaps into the emitter, and then it activates that emitter, so it cannot be ripped off. So all revenue from the bag sales goes directly to MicroSeal. This model, the consumables will eventually outpace that of the sales of the device. To put that in perspective, I did 600 cases here in Savannah last year. If I used up 50% of my cases, that's $30,000 for one surgeon, okay? I have 20 partners. If half of my partners use it, that's $300,000 in one surgery center. So I'm the medical officer. Evan Ruff and Kirby Sisk are on the team as well. Evan's our CEO and Kirby's our COO. We all graduated from Georgia Tech. Evan Ruff has done numerous tech startups. He has over 10 years of software consulting with Fortune 500 companies such as Coke and Home Depot. And we were lucky to get Kirby Sisk. We stole him from Accenture. Well, we didn't steal him yet, but he's still working with Accenture. He has 20 years of manufacturing and product development experience with Boeing, Gulfstream, Accenture, and Deloitte. So we've been pretty successful with seed funding. We're currently looking for investors, but we really want people who are in the medical field, who realize the potential for this and can get behind it. And we're going to target our Series A around the Academy time in March. And we also want to develop a board of advisors, doctors and medical personnel who can help us grow and launch this product. And also, as we scale, we're going to need employees, engineers, technicians, and of course, sales and marketing team. So I'd like to thank you for inviting me to speak today, and I'll take any questions that you may have.